Welcome back to 1010's Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie. Across from me is Adam Nilsson, and we're back!
We are back. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. I had strep throat,
And then we had a holiday.
and then I was in North Carolina
Yep.
for a week.
And I couldn't be bothered.
Strep throat sucked.
Yeah, that'd be hard to podcast with the strep throat.
Well, and so then I got a fever and just felt like shit for 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
It always hits me on a Friday.
Well, yeah. If you're going to be sick, it's always on a weekend.
Yeah, it always hits me on a Friday, which honestly I kind of am okay with because my work schedule is such that if I'm gone, it just means that I have to do 2 days worth of work when I get back.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't really, I mean...
Well, and it's nice that it's consistent for, like, even when you go to events like PPIR.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Or PRI. Or...
Well, you don't go to PRI, though, Robbie.
I went there once.
Yeah, but you're not going to go with me again. You're fucking leaving me and Jacob high and dry. It's just me and Wheeler this year.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you should come with.
I'm going to try to stay married, so...
That's dumb, Robbie.
I know. But I'm going to try.
She can come with, too.
She was not having any of that.
I bet she'd like it more than she thinks she would.
That's what I said. But she goes, well, I feel like a spa day at the Lake of the Ozarks sounds a lot better. God damn it.
I feel like a spa day at Indianapolis feels fucking amazing. You guys could go to Tegri.
There's a lot of things to do in Indianapolis.
Apparently, they have like one of the best sushi places in the world. DWR eats there like every other week.
I'd go to that.
You could rub shoulders with Ryan Eversley.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
We could do a podcast.
Go to Tegri.
Okay. You don't have to tell me.
I think that's what it's called.
I can go back and listen to some episodes, figure it out.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Tegri.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a sushi joint. You're going to have to leave me out of that one.
If it's a Japanese steakhouse, there's something for everybody.
Booney fucking bailed on me.
Isn't he going to, like, far away?
I don't know. He told me he had to go to New York this weekend, which I don't know what that has to do with next weekend.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got sick through the weekend, and then I was feeling better, and then I'm good for all of the next week and weekend, and then all of the second week following, and then I get sick again.
Oh.
And it's like this cycle.
Great.
And so on the second time, I went into the doctor, and they told me I had strep throat.
Oh.
And they gave me an antibiotic, and I took 90% of it, because nobody ever finishes those.
You always finish your antibiotics,
Probably
Adam.
nobody finishes
You
those.
always
They're like, here,
finish.
take 2 a day for 10 days, and no one gets past day 8, Robbie.
Yes.
Don't fucking lie
They
to me.
do.
Don't fucking lie to me, Robbie.
I paid for them. I'm going to use them.
Don't lie to me, Robbie.
What does it hurt to not
You
finish
keep them for the next time you're feeling shitty.
No, there's not enough. When you're
Well,
feeling
it's just that I forget, and then it's like, well, it's been 2 days since I'm not going to take it now.
no, because if you plan ahead, you just buy your antibiotics from Mexico, and it costs $3, and it's just in your cabinet.
You know what's really frustrating about it? They're like, oh, you have a sore throat and you don't feel good? Here, have the biggest fucking pill that known to man.
Yeah, that's
Because the antibiotic they gave me was a monster horse pill.
just so you know, you can buy that same pill shipped from Mexico for like $2. I'm not kidding. It's the same one you just took.
My prescription copay is only like $20. It's not worth it, Robbie.
It's always worth it.
No, it's really not.
A penny saved is a penny race card.
Yeah, but what if it's not actually what I need from Mexico?
You'll figure it out.
White stuff coming from Mexico? I don't fucking trust it, Robbie.
It doesn't have to be white. It could be a different color. I don't know.
I'm just not trusting it, Robbie.
I've trusted it. It was fine.
I bet you cocaine would make my strep throat feel better too, though.
It'd make everything feel better, I bet.
Hell of a drug, I've been told.
That's what I've been told. I was told I would love it. Never tried it. Probably because they're right.
But yeah, that was my strep throat adventure.
That sounds awful.
It was awful.
Isn't strep throat the one that you can get sick and then like you feel better and then it gets you like you keep getting yourself sick?
Yeah.
You don't like
every other week. And
that sucks.
for me. But last year I had the same cycle.
At least you're consistent. You'll be the one that brings it to PRI.
Don't have kids, Robbie. Because then they go to school and like lick windows or something. I don't know what he's doing.
They all lick each other's fingers.
Right. I don't know what they're doing.
Kids are gross.
Right. And then they bring it back to me.
I dated a teacher once.
And
she did the same thing.
He's like 6. So he has the immune system of like Fort Knox, you know? So he'll like get a little sniffle for half a day and I'll be dead to the world for 4 straight days.
Yeah. He's just a carrier at that point.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad. And then it's just.
Achoo!
Yep.
Motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't have kids, Robbie.
I'm not gonna.
I love my child.
But
Love my children.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah,
I have 2 of them now.
Yep.
But
You don't have to sell me on that idea. That concept is
that
fine.
ship has sailed, Robbie.
Yeah. The older I get, the less I want them.
There's a billboard on the other side of town advertising $699 vasectomies.
Worth every penny.
I think I need to call that guy.
Yep.
It's on my list of things to do.
I don't blame you.
Some insurance companies will cover it even. That's what I'm
trying to think
told.
if mine would.
Oh, yours for sure wouldn't.
No, mine's so shitty it wouldn't matter. It's,
Yeah.
it's all out of pocket anyways.
We're getting new health insurance, and I am not very happy about it.
I am, but it's because I'm going with Jess's because she's at the hospital.
Oh, yeah?
So mine's going to be better.
So the company I work for, they don't pay for anything outside of the individual.
Oh.
So, like, if you have a child or a spouse or a family, you have to pay
Dependents.
for 100% of their
Oh.
coverage. And so right now, I get paid every week.
Yeah.
Or as I like to say, weekly. Very weekly.
That's a dad joke.
Yeah.
Took me a minute because,
Right. Yeah. So right now it's like $430 a week for family,
Oh.
which obviously I'm not paying.
Yeah, that sucks.
And the new one, they're like, oh, the new one's way cheaper. Yeah, it's $280. So yeah, you're right. It is cheaper, but it's not cheaper enough to matter.
Oh my gosh, that's still a lot of money. It's so expensive.
Our healthcare is
The
borked.
system is so broken.
I don't know how to fix it, but what we're doing right now isn't working either.
No. It's working for somebody, just not us or anyone listening to this podcast.
Let's talk about cars, Robbie.
Why? Since when do we?
I don't think people care that much. Well, they shouldn't care that much about our personal lives. That they want
Yes,
to know
they
about
do.
my health insurance
they care.
situations.
That's what they care. They
They
all
shouldn't,
care.
though, Robbie.
They take a vested interest into us.
That's what terrifies me.
Yes.
This week's Spotify stuff is downright terrifying.
The amount of time that people have spent listening to this podcast this year alone is
It's
mind
downright
blowing.
terrifying.
I do appreciate seeing it at the top of the list. I realize it means nothing, but
Well, because that's all time listened. That just means we have long podcasts.
That's not true.
It totally is true.
But people have more podcasts that they put out. Doesn't.
Joe Rogan's on Spotify, right?
Yep.
And I didn't see him on any of those lists. Suck it.
That is
That
true.
means we're more popular than Joe Rogan.
For the people that listened and
For the
posted
people that
about
listen,
it,
they like
absolutely.
us more than Joe Rogan.
Wasn't even
They
on the
come
list.
here for their terrible conspiracy theories.
Well, they're not coming for me for that.
I mean, we haven't really talked about that in a long time, but
No. I don't.
whatever.
I don't know. I lose interest real fast.
I just think they're funny.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny to perpetuate.
But you were able to sit through the Tom DeLonge Joe Rogan episode, and I couldn't even start it.
It took me a couple of sittings. Yeah, I did not listen. That is not a marathon show for me, and I never finished the Alex Jones.
The 5-hour one.
Yeah, I never finished that one.
Wouldn't even. I refused. I couldn't. do
Man, that got real weird after like hour 3. He was so high.
It took till hour
Well,
3.
he was so high, I couldn't even take it anymore. I was like, this is out of control. He was just yelling nonsense.
That sounds like something.
And then there was that other guy, his friend, Joe Rogan's friend,
Oh.
the jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? That doesn't. I don't know.
He was in there just feeding the fire, man.
Yeah.
It was out of control.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
were talking about Antarctica doesn't exist, and
Australia
and
doesn't exist.
Alex Jones was like, I'll fund an expedition. I'll send you down there myself. I don't care. I've got the money. And I'm just I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get into any of that stuff. Like even if it's funny, I just whatever.
Right.
Because obviously everyone's listening to the Kanye West Alex Jones episode or whatever this week.
No, man, I didn't even know that was a
I
thing.
couldn't be less interested.
Wait, is that a Joe Rogan show?
No, it's a Alex Jones show.
Oh.
I don't know. Some people are posting clips about it.
I don't know.
But we talk about cars.
Let's
allegedly.
talk about cars. Go ahead.
We should open this up.
Oh, is that what we're gonna do?
I don't know. I don't have anything else to say.
We don't.
We don't plan ahead.
We have lost our structure.
There was one time where we had like a very set structure.
Yeah, we even had a Google sheet.
Yep, weekly, and we updated it.
Yeah,
Well,
we had
sometimes.
bullet points, and then remember the news.
No.
You remember doing that? Man, that was a pain.
How we did an opener, a topic, and news in one episode in less than an hour.
Three people.
For less than an hour and a half? Impossible.
With 3 people. Rest in peace.
Miss that guy.
Anyway, I guess I can open this up.
All right.
So I came across this perusing Facebook, and The Drive posted this. So thank you to The Drive. 127 years ago today, being November 24th, was the first U.S. auto race, which was run from Chicago to Evanston, Illinois, and back, which is a 52.4-mile race.
So 25 miles back and forth.
Yep, 26 miles round trip, or one way, 52.4 miles round trip, done in 10 hours and 23 minutes in a home-built Duria motor wagon that Frank Duria built. 6 cars competed.
An Iron Man could beat that.
Yes, today we could marathon runners could do that remarkably faster.
Yes.
Today. I think that there have been like the 26 mile. Don't we have like a sub 2 hour marathon time now?
I think that's
something stupid.
I think there is someone did sub 2, I believe, but the shoes they used were
considered cheating or something.
Yeah, they did, so they don't count it as like an official record, and I don't think it happened during a sanctioned
unless
race.
Those shoes move his legs for him and are rocket powered.
Well, I think it's like having springs in them.
Yeah, so what?
But when you're running for 26 miles and you have that much less effort it takes, it's a big fucking difference.
I mean, yeah,
Trust me.
Yeah, but that's wild. So, yeah, 52.4 miles in 10 hours and 23 minutes, which is not fast.
Not even remotely.
He won $2,000, which in today's money is 71 grand.
That's pretty good money for...
Yeah, that's not bad. So, I'm going to do some quick math here because I want to know.
How many people were in this race? Like two cars? 10
it
cars?
said 6 cars competed.
Actually, it's kind of impressive that 127 years ago, the cars could do that and back. And,
I would be interested to know like how many times he had to stop and stuff like that.
Right. Like how are you doing fuel changes? Or fuel fills?
Fuel fills. That's an average of 11.8 miles an hour.
God, how would you not lose interest?
It doesn't feel like a race.
No, because you're just like, we could do like a regular conversation. We're just sitting there talking, like no exerted effort or anything.
I don't feel like it probably was though, because I bet it was still pretty grueling. Anything you do for 10 hours straight has got to be exhausting.
No suspension, like no springs.
Yeah.
It's got so it'd be like a horse. It's like a horse-drawn carriage without the horse.
Well, back then, some of those engines like had to be oiled actively.
Yeah.
By the person driving it. Like you had some of those old cars. They had a co-driver who would be like oiling things because they didn't have a system to circulate it like we do now.
Which is kind of impressive that they even finished the race.
I mean,
they could run for that long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was as much a race of attrition as it was anything.
Did it say how many people finished?
It doesn't.
Just one.
I didn't do very much research on it.
That's good enough.
This is what they gave me. So, but it's just kind of interesting. That was the first U.S. auto race 127 years ago, 1895,
and it's been all downhill from there, or uphill. Whatever.
We should do Grid Life should do of like a street race style event,
like a road rally.
Yeah, we should do a road rally of this course from Chicago to Evanston.
Fun fact: the insurance for a road rally through the SCCA is like the cheapest insurance you can get for any event.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
Yep.
It's so cheap you almost can't lose money on it. Every SCCA event should be doing them as fundraisers.
Every year. Every sanctioning body every year should be doing a road rally if they want to pump money into their region.
Right.
And if they're not doing it, they're supposed to be.
Which we don't.
We don't. But I'm just saying, like, if your local region doesn't, they should.
It's crazy how I couldn't believe it when we learned that. I don't remember what the number was now, but
embarrassingly little.
It's wild.
Because you're just driving. I mean,
in theory, you shouldn't be speeding.
You should never have to speed.
Like that. It shouldn't be any different than transporting your car to the race.
Yep. It should just be a social event, and the insurance reflects that.
Yeah.
So,
which is hilarious. But that'd be kind of cool to do that as like a
like
to
a throwback.
find the original route and do that as an event.
That'd be fun.
So
I remember reading Ed Bolian's book, and he's talking about doing when he broke the record for the cannonball, and he said after a certain point, like you're just so like your legs are stiff, like you're sitting there like massaging your legs to get blood flow into them. Like you've been in the car for almost 28 hours.
Yeah,
so you're sitting there like, so then you're like reminding your friend to put gum in their mouth because their breath stinks. They've been sitting for hours and hours and hours, and your breath gets gross.
Yeah,
so it's kind of the same idea after 10 hours.
Yeah, I feel like the road system was. I mean, we're literally talking about horse trails in 1895.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, we pulled wagons, but it had to be brutal.
Just a dirt road like what I drive on at best.
I'll bet your shit ass road out front here made those roads look like, or like your road would look pristine compared to what they did it on.
Yeah, it might have been 11 miles an hour because it was so bad.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I bet it was still, even though it was not fast and it wasn't really that far, I'll bet it was still incredibly exhausting.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It'd be awful. It's like just completely compressed spines.
Yeah. So, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Not something I would want to do.
No, we have to now.
Back then, we couldn't replicate this to its terribleness.
No.
Like no matter, like we could drive through the ditch and it'd still be better.
Yeah, there isn't anything we could buy today.
We could run it. That would probably be equivalently terrible.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it in 10 hours. Maybe when I was at my peak.
What if we did it on razor scooters?
That would be terrible.
That would be equivalent.
I would rather run it than do it on razor scooters. Oh my God. I felt bad for Scott and Becky when they would do razor scooters at one lap.
They love them.
Just to do the course.
They love them.
No, not good enough.
As far as Scott is concerned,
walk.
That's a one lap requirement.
No, I would rather
You have
walk.
to have a razor scooter.
Nope.
And they have like a specific one that has like big tires.
They got the
on
big
it
wheels,
stuff.
so that helps. But the ones with the skateboard wheels, no, not a chance. Or I guess they're the big rollerblade wheels.
Yeah, they're rollerblade
100,
wheels.
120 millimeters or whatever.
Yeah. That would be funny to do it on a razor scooter. I'll bet we could do it in 10 and a half hours on a razor scooter.
Go 50 miles.
Do you think you could average almost 12 miles an hour on a razor scooter for 50 miles?
If the roads were good.
Like if you were on a bike path?
How long is the High Trestle Trail?
Oh, way longer than that.
So you're saying we could do this?
I'm not gonna.
Can you imagine? 1010's Podcast organizes razor scooter 50 miles.
I'm not gonna. That'd be terrible.
Racing from Cumming all the way to Madrid and back.
That'd pretty much be what it would. Yeah, that'd probably be pretty close to right, honestly. I mean,
because you'd go through Des Moines up to Ankeny, and then you'd take the trail all the way to Madrid, and then back.
Yeah,
on a razor scooter, and the winner gets a 1010's Podcast T-shirt.
It's 32 miles from here to Madrid.
Oh, so
that's even too far.
We could probably start in Ankeny and just do the trail.
Yeah, probably.
And the winner gets an Apex Pro.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want to do it. That sounds terrible, Robbie.
We'll organize it.
You know the amount of exercise that would be?
That's a lot of
Just make sure to alternate push legs occasionally.
Yeah.
Because you won't think about it until the next day. But that one leg
you would cramp up
won't
so bad.
Move the next day.
And it's pretty flat too because it used to be a train track. So it's
when I used to climb towers, you have to consciously alternate lead legs.
Oh, yeah.
When you're climbing up and down, because if you didn't, the one leg does most of the lifting as you climb from one rung to the next.
Yep.
The next day, dude.
I never even thought about that.
Your hip and knee joints and your thigh. Oh, it'd be on fire if you didn't think about it.
Huh.
Alternate legs.
Smart.
So you definitely want to alternate push legs on a razor scooter.
Oh my God, that'd be awful.
So awful.
You're doing 3 miles like that would be awful. Like even just organizing, like we're going to Heartland Park and we're racing our Razor scooters for one lap.
Is it more awful or embarrassing that you're on a Razor scooter?
Equal.
I think it's pretty equal. Yeah.
Well, the worst part is
there's very few modes of transportation more embarrassing than a Razor scooter.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Mopeds are definitely less embarrassing than a Razor 100%. Scooter. Yeah,
nope. They go 40 miles an hour.
The old saying is we're using the wrong mode of transportation.
Razor scooter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's kind of fun, but it's super embarrassing.
Moped is way more fun and way less embarrassing.
That's fair.
Yikes.
Wow.
All this moped talk is presented by Factor Fabrication.
He could build you a sick rail for your Razor scooter.
I think it's on the website even.
A scrail, if you will.
No. There's a picture. There's
a
picture of one posted on this website somewhere. But yeah, Factor Fabrication for all your fabrication needs. If you need a custom furniture or a stairs or railing, Booney will hook you up. Max will weld it up. It'll be great.
Do you remember that sick coping box that we had at Sailorville Indoor Skate Park years ago?
Yep.
I found myself for an extended period of time daydreaming of building one of those and putting it in my driveway and starting
skating
again because I feel like I need to work my way into it, and a coping box in my driveway would be a great way to do it.
I couldn't agree more.
And I really want to build one now.
I bet I know a guy.
But like just an absurd, like a 20-foot
Yeah, like literally goes the entire length
I don't
of your
want
driveway.
some tiny little short little.
No.
I want a 20-foot long coping.
We're doing real grinds here.
I desperately miss that box. That was
so good.
Some of the best sessions of my entire life was skating.
I want to
box.
thank you for that audio clip you just gave me.
Why though? You're too lazy to cut it.
That's
out.
not
It's
true.
Fine.
I have time now. I bet.
No,
I will make time.
No, you won't.
Well, I have friends that will take that clip.
That's probably
right now.
More likely to happen.
Adam misses that box.
Yeah. Well,
and don't we all?
I am married.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have kids. You don't know what that's like.
And
Robbie.
you have kids.
Yeah. Once you have kids, it's all
you poor bastard.
Downhill from there.
But if you want to make a 40-foot long coping box, I know a guy that can make that happen.
God, it'd be so good.
Yep. It'd be highest of quality welds.
He's not allowed to use it, though. Don't let him use it.
No skateboard allowed.
That's a skateboard, and you don't want that.
Rollerblading.
Rollerblades only.
I gotcha.
Definitely no
razor
scooters. Definitely no razor scooters.
I'm actually going to have Max weld up some stuff for me probably next week.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm mounting up my Wang on my Z.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have him make the mounts.
No, you're too cheap for that. I know.
Actually, I bought it on the clearance, so it already came with mounts in the wrong spot.
Okay.
So I'm just going to already cut them off, and I'm just going to move them. So I got to get it all mounted, and I'm going to mark out where it needs to be and be like, hey, Max, weld this up because you promised you would.
Not Booney, though.
No, Max promised he would. That's why I'm going to Max.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to have somebody do something at Factor Fabrication, it's probably going to be Max anyway, right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Booney will tell you he did it, but
He's very busy.
Max probably did.
Well, remember when I made that pedal box for my simulator so I could have inverted pedals?
Right.
And I posted a picture of it, and then Max was like, if only you knew a guy that could weld.
Yeah.
Well, now he put that offer out there, so if I need welding, I just go straight to him. Like,
that's fair.
You promised.
He has told me that he would weld stuff for me on more than one occasion.
Man, that coping box is going to be sick.
I know. You're telling me about it, Robbie.
Gonna slap some Factor Fab stickers on it. It's going to be awesome.
I really miss it.
Skating?
Yeah.
I do, but
I'm old.
Remember I fell?
See, that's why we just need a coping box that we can session for hours on end.
The problem was I was trying to do tricks I used to be able to do like 8 years ago.
Right, that's why we need a coping box in my driveway so we can work back up to it, Robbie.
I didn't work back up to it.
I know.
The problem was I was landing close to that trick, and I kept doing like I was.
Oh, I can do this.
I was doing down ledges, and then I did down ledge over the stairs. I'm like, I kept doing it. I'm like, man, I still got this. And then I tried just like a regular Royale, and I tripped myself.
Yeah.
And fell all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's still fucked up.
Yeah.
It's been like 4 months.
Well, it's probably because you stress fractured it at best.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I mean, I can whatever.
We need a coping box, Robbie.
We do need a coping box.
I've got the longest driveway in the world.
cemented driveway.
It's so good.
Yeah, that'd be good. Might be kind of fun if it was cemented. Because it has elevation to it.
Yeah, I don't want that though. I want a flat.
No, part of it would be flat.
I just want a flat driveway with a 20-foot long coping box. That's what I want in my life.
We can make that happen.
It needs to break in half so that I can put it in my garage.
We can make that happen.
But
it's got to be able to connect together.
Right, yeah. You have a smaller piece of pipe that slides into the end, and they become one.
Yep.
And then get some skate light to put on top of it. Make it like 3 foot wide. Make it like probably knee height or so. I think that's the magic height. It's not too tall, but not too short.
Yep.
Because you can absolutely have a box too short.
Yep. You need a high quality box.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more thought involved in it than you'd think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it has to be round rail. It can't be squares.
Obviously, that's why I specified coping box, Robbie.
Yep. No square rails.
Scrails are for squares.
Not
skateboarders.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Losers.
Whoa. And they shut off the podcast.
Whatever. They're used to it by this point. Deep down inside, they're all like, yeah, rollerblading was cooler.
I thought so. I enjoyed it. Still enjoy it.
Yeah.
This skateboarding talk is brought to you by Factor Fabrication. What have you been up to besides being sick and tired?
Well, so my sister and her family live in North Carolina.
Okay.
My brother-in-law is a fighter pilot. He flies fighter jets. He's way cooler than I am.
Me too.
The first question my son asked was, do you fly it, or do you do like barrel rolls or whatever it was, like loop-de-loos, whatever he called them?
Which, of course, is yeah.
And he's like, yeah, of course I do.
How else do I turn around?
Well, tell him no for my sake, you dick.
No, he goes, have you seen Top Gun? It's like that, bro. And then he said bro.
Yeah, for sure. He's got like the giantest caterpillar mustache.
Of course he does.
Yeah, right? I assume he's shopping Corvettes all the time.
Yep.
Because he's an Air Force pilot. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're moving somewhat soon. And so we wanted to go down to North Carolina and visit them one last time. So my parents hit me up about going over there over Thanksgiving. But my dad cannot fly. He's too claustrophobic.
Oh,
which has gotten worse as he's gotten older. So we had to drive.
Ooh.
And so it's 18 hours one way.
Ugh.
And so we were trying to decide, like, do we drive two separate vehicles and get a hotel? Do we drive one vehicle and try and, like, cannonball it? Or even still just one vehicle but also get a hotel? How do we do this, right?
Okay.
And so
what did you settle on?
So we ultimately settled on renting a minivan.
Okay. This is not this one, but I had a picture of one.
Yes, so we got a 2021 Chrysler Pacifica.
All right, that's a nice new van.
Yep, fairly new van.
Adam loves his vans.
I do love my vans, and I've always had a special place in my heart for the Chrysler Pacifica. I've read lots of really good reviews about it, and I've always wanted the opportunity to drive one. I didn't necessarily need 40 hours of driving it, but that's what I got. So we rented this minivan, piled me, my wife, my two children, and my mother and father into this van, and we drove to North Carolina.
Nonstop.
We drove there nonstop. We did not stop.
How long did it take you?
So
I assume with two small children.
So not only do I have two small children, but I also have two 60-year-old people. And
who drove?
I drove nearly all of it both ways.
Whoa. But also on brand for you.
So I drove... we got up Tuesday morning and drove from my house to my parents' house and picked up the minivan along the way, dropped my minivan off at a different place, got in that minivan, and then drove it to my parents' house. And then, so I already had 3 hours of driving in there.
Yep.
And then we hopped in, we left my parents' house about 11 o'clock because, so they live on base, right? And so you have to like get clearances to get on base. And you have to go through this whole thing and sign your life away and all that stuff, right? To be able to get in back and forth again. Like if you're just going on and back off, then you don't have to do so much. But like if you're getting a driving pass to be able to come back and forth for a few days, you got to do some stuff. And that office isn't open at 2:00 in the morning, right? So we're like, well, we can't leave at like 6:00 in the morning from my parents' house and drive down there because we were expecting the 18-hour drive to take somewhere between 20 and 22 hours.
Which is fair.
So
it's still moving.
So at 22 hours, if we leave at 6 a.m., we get there at 4 a.m., and then we're stuck outside the gate till 8 a.m. So we're like, well, we're not in any rush to leave. So we slept in a little bit, got in the car and drove down there, got to my parents' house about 11, and then left.
Okay.
And we arrived there at like, I want to say it was 9:30. But there is an hour shift.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it took us 22 hours to get there.
I mean, that's still moving pretty good.
Yeah.
For a full day.
Yeah. With a 1-year-old.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah. So my son travels really well, as you've experienced.
I can confirm
past.
this. He really
my
does.
My daughter does not travel as well as my son.
She traveled pretty well to Road America.
She's never been to Road America. That was only my son. My daughter's only a year old, dude.
I knew that.
My daughter turned 1 in.
I was going to say she traveled really well. I don't remember a problem at all.
She might have been in Katie's belly at the time. Katie was pregnant.
She was pregnant.
Was she?
Yeah. Didn't we all travel somewhere though? Recently?
I feel like you've never traveled with my daughter.
You're probably right.
Because she has yet to be to a Grid Life event.
That's not true.
No, she went to Harlan Park. She went to Harlan Park.
Okay, I'm not the only one that's remembering things wrong.
Yeah, she went to Harlan Park. My daughter, who is 13 months old, has already been to 11 states.
Holy cows.
My son's been to 16.
That's pretty good.
I feel like that's
better than I did at that age, I think.
I feel like that's pretty impressive for a lot.
Well, no, because I lived in Washington, so we drove back. So
I feel like that's pretty good for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I know 30-year-old people who haven't been to 16 states.
Or never will.
Yeah, probably. So, but yeah, I feel like we did all right. We jet setted through. But the van, dude.
Tops.
It just crushes miles. So it gets like
shockingly comfortable.
So we got the one we got. So they make a hybrid and they make an all-wheel drive versions and they make just a base front-wheel drive version.
Okay.
So the one we had was the front-wheel drive version. So it didn't have the hybrid assist, so it didn't get as good a gas mileage as it could, but it didn't have the all-wheel drive, which I assume gets a little worse gas mileage because they always do. So we got like 26 or 28 miles to the gallon, which isn't terrible for a van with 6 people.
No, that's pretty good.
And luggage and all that. I wasn't mad about it. A tank of gas is like good for 500 miles.
Yeah, they're big tanks.
And you can just crush miles with it, dude. It's so good.
Just like take Katie's water bottle and just say you're sitting here and you're not going to drink any water.
No,
we're going to stop when the gas runs out.
No, we did not do that.
Okay,
no,
that's how we traveled the Grid Life.
My dad could not do that.
No, yeah,
and I'm not going to leave my 1-year-old in diapers that long. We have to stop.
Fine. That's what the diaper's for.
We have to stop every once in a while. More often than every 500 miles, that's for damn sure.
Damn it.
So, but yeah, so that car has TVs in the back of each front seat.
All the same thing? Or can you have different things on them?
So I don't think you can have different things on each TV.
Okay.
I think they have to. There are games that you can play.
Oh.
And you can play different games.
Which makes sense.
But I think if there's a movie playing, you have to have the movie on both screens because there's only one DVD slot.
Gotcha.
But there is HDMI input, so maybe you can do it if you have the HDMI inputs. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I never sat in the back seat, so I have no idea what you can do back there. But it has headphones.
Nice.
And so I don't have to listen to the movie.
Very nice.
Because there's a bunch of movies that like I know every line to and I've never seen.
Like when we watched Cars and the Avalanche coming back from Heartland Park.
No, from PRI.
Was it PRI?
Oh well, we came back.
Me, you, and Logan.
Right? But when we came back from PRI, we made Michael watch Cars.
Oh yeah,
that was the first time he'd ever seen it.
So every time that I've watched a movie when I had the Avalanche,
yeah,
it was Cars.
That's probably true. I think we watched Tokyo Drift on the way there.
Yep. I didn't watch that one because I was driving, obviously.
Right. But so So it's nice because, like, dude, Megamind, I've never seen it. I know every line.
No, never seen it. But I didn't want to, so
because my
out.
kid, or Bolt, I've never seen that one either. But I could tell. I can
say a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's a dog anyway. I don't know. I've never seen it.
But
I could like almost repeat every line of that show.
Yikes.
So it was nice because he could just put his headphones on and I can still listen to music.
And before you know it, 2 hours has passed.
Right. And it's got Apple CarPlay in it, which as far as I'm concerned is an essential.
At this point, yes.
To have CarPlay, whether it's Android or Apple. I feel like
the cheapest Kia has it, everyone should have it.
It's an essential. It's absolutely a necessary thing I need to travel long distances.
Yes.
I love it. It's so good.
My biggest complaint is that my phone has like not the perfect connection, so if it bounces a little bit, it'll disconnect from the cable and then it'll kick it off.
Yeah.
And if it does that enough times, it'll freeze and I have to shut the car off and turn it back on. I've only ever had it like twice. But it'll lose it every once in a while, so I have to like have it sitting in just such a way.
Right.
But it's my phone's fault, not the.
So what I don't like about it is that when it gets disconnected, if I have Google Maps going,
yep,
and I disconnect my phone and then plug it back in, I have to start it over, and I feel like it should keep going.
Waze doesn't do that. Waze saves it.
I like Google for a really stupid reason.
Is it because of the satellite image?
I like seeing the satellite image.
Waze is so much better.
Waze is hilarious because, like, Waze will send you through somebody's living room if it'll save you 30 seconds.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
That's what I want.
So when we had 3 options in paths that Google gave us, and they were all within like 15 or 20 minutes of each other in length, but one of them had no tolls, and it took us through on Interstate 40 through Tennessee, which means you got to go through the Smoky Mountains, and you got to go through like a couple of national forests, and you got to go, there's the tunnel, and like that interstate is like almost as good as any road you get in the state of Iowa.
I believe that.
Just for driving purposes.
Right.
Like it's
driving like
remarkably fun, even though it's an interstate.
Well, Bowling Green, going to Bowling Green, that was a nice drive.
Yeah,
like once you're in Tennessee,
and so
Kentucky.
That's Kentucky, yeah. And so that's the route we took there. But then, of course, we left at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So by the time we got to Tennessee, it's fucking pitch black. So then that was the route we took home as well. It's also the free route. There's no tolls, whereas the other one, there was $8 in tolls, and it's within a few minutes of the same. So we're going to take the free route.
I would, yeah.
Absolutely. So it was fun to drive through Tennessee. I really enjoyed that. It's such a beautiful place. I really like
that area is really nice.
Repeatedly tried to talk Katie into moving there.
Don't blame you.
It's incredible.
Plus, the climate is nicer.
The climate is way nicer. And seriously, like, you're driving down the road, and I'm looking at I'm looking at the screen, and I see these roads. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, every fucking road there looks like the best road I've ever driven in my life.
Yeah, probably. Matt Williams could just show you where they're at.
It looks so amazing.
I still need to take Matt up on that offer to go down there and just
owning something like my Omni makes so much more sense when you live there.
Yeah,
than when you live here. I mean, that's a large percentage of the reason I haven't fixed that car is because I would fix it and then, like, what am I going to do? Drive it to work?
Nah.
It's not worth it. And I just don't care.
That's kind of how I feel about anyone with like when someone's comes up to me like, oh, I'm so excited about this whatever streetcar I just bought. I'm like, so?
Yeah. Because I live in Iowa.
You're just going to drive it to work. Who cares?
Yeah, I live in Iowa, and it's not fun. Like, I have to drive out of my way to go find even mildly fun roads. And I just can't bring myself to care.
I get it.
And horsepower just gets you in trouble. That's not fun either.
Check out my new 700 horsepower Shelby.
I make 800 horsepower. Cool. You can still legally only go as fast as me.
Hey, you're just going to work with it, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I just can't be enthused about it. But driving down there looks amazing.
Yeah, that'd be good times.
Looks so good.
I think I'm going to have to talk to Matt and make sure he calls you and tells you how good the roads are down there to just remind you.
I don't need him to. So anyway, on the way down there, there's a Buc-ee's there now, right?
Yeah.
And so we had to stop because nobody in my family has ever been to Buc-ee's.
I've still never been.
So we had to stop at Buc-ee's. Well, number one, everything is bigger in Texas, including Buc-ee's.
That's not in Texas, Adam.
I know, and that one's not very big.
Ah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still ridiculous. There's still like 70 gas pumps out front, but the one in Fort Worth has like 240 or something stupid.
That's insane.
And it's not, the inside's not as big. It's not as ridiculous. They didn't carry, there was not a single Pepsi product in the,
what?
In the coolers.
None.
None.
No Mountain Dew.
No.
No Mountain Dew fruitcake flavor, wherever they're having Christmas. Nothing.
Fruit Quake.
Whatever.
Fruit Quake, Robbie.
Have you tried it?
No, I won't.
Sounds like something that'd be great for someone to send us on the podcast.
Why would you do that, Robbie?
Because I want to try it and I don't want to buy it.
Speaking of, I stopped at Burger King on my way here.
Okay.
And they had Surge on the fountain, Robbie.
They do not.
They do.
Holy cows.
And then because it's one of those Pininfarina juice or drink machines that you can mix, I got a large cup of grape flavored Surge waiting for me in my work truck. I'm so excited to drink that on my way home and not sleep tonight. It's going to be the greatest.
Dude, I haven't had Surge since I was...
I fucking love Surge.
I remember having that when I was a kid. I don't think I've ever had it as an adult.
Well,
they had...
Within the last couple of years, you could still buy it at Casey's or Come and Go, one of the two, as tall boys. As tall boy cans.
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, nothing should be drank in anything except cans.
It's always better.
And for some reason, tall boys taste better than regular cans.
The only exception to that is glass bottles.
I don't even agree with that.
Glass bottles.
No way, dude.
Yep.
Cans.
Well, it has like a Coca-Cola.
Nope, cans.
Nope, dark flavored, dark cola.
Cans.
Bottle.
And for some reason, tall boys taste better than regular cans. 16-ounce cans are better than 12-ounce cans. It's just fact.
That's fair. But yeah, like a
I don't know
Mountain Dew
why.
out of a can is way better.
I won't even drink Mountain Dew in a bottle anymore.
I don't blame you.
I only drink it out of cans.
When I buy it, like for the house here,
Yeah.
it's in cans.
Yeah.
I won't buy a bottle.
Right. So
Even if it's like they sell the same size bottle, like they sell 12-ounce bottles.
No.
Won't do it.
No, I won't drink it out of a bottle. Tastes better in a can.
Of course it does.
These are just facts.
The aluminum that gets stuck in.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's better, and I don't care. I don't care if it's less healthy. I mean, it's fucking Mountain Dew, so it's not healthy to begin with. So who cares? But anyway, so we went into this Buc-ee's. Now, granted, I got there at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Right. So it was pretty late, but it says it's open 24 hours a day.
I would hope so.
So when you walk into a Buc-ee's, since you've never been there, I have to explain this to you. There's like an area in the middle where people stand inside of this big circle and they're chopping brisket and turkey and smoked meats and then putting it on sandwiches and then wrapping it up and then they put it in displays and you just grab your sandwich, but you can watch them chop it, right? And it's this big open, they're in the middle of the restaurant.
I think Wawa's do that, but I would say it's not
potentially. I've never been to a Wawa's.
I was at a Wawa in Sebring.
Okay, so I walk up there and there were like 3 or 4 sandwiches sitting there and I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, so I decided to keep walking instead of grabbing it right away. Because like when I go into Casey's in the morning, when I do get a slice of breakfast pizza, the very first thing I do is go straight for that.
Okay.
Because any amount of time, in my mind, any amount of time that I spend in the Casey's not getting my pizza could mean somebody else got the good piece.
You're right.
So that's the first thing I do. I go straight to there. I grab, because like if I'm getting a drink, they all taste the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it out of the cooler. They're all the same. No one can beat me to the good one.
Yep.
Like that can of Monster is going to taste the same, whether it's the one on the front or the one behind it.
Yep.
It's fine. But that pizza slice, man, that could be the one.
Yep.
And it makes a difference.
You don't want to get stuck with a small one that's
right.
covered.
And like
donuts
are donuts, you know?
No, they're not, Adam.
I mean,
no,
but like
they're not.
I agree, because the only way to eat a donut is a raised glaze, because you can take that cake donut and fucking throw it in the trash can. Yeah, I said it, Robbie.
What?
I'm coming in hot.
How can you even say that?
Dude, raised glazed donuts are so much better than cake donuts. Cake donuts suck.
It's cake or nothing.
No way. They're so dry.
I want cake donuts.
No, dude, they're
and
so dry.
nothing else. I don't want anything else. If you show up to me with that bread with fucking frosting on top of it, get the fuck out.
You get out of here, Robbie.
If I want bread, I'll just go get a fucking loaf.
Fine. You know what we can both agree on? If there's a frosted sprinkled sugar cookie in there, I'm buying that anyway.
No.
Oh, for sure.
No.
For sure.
Cake donuts.
Cake donuts suck.
Holy cows.
Suck.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
What, do you get chocolate too?
No, of course not.
Okay, good.
You know me. I don't eat chocolate.
Me neither. A chocolate
Also,
donut? No.
If a donut doesn't have sprinkles on it,
Get out.
regardless of what it's made of underneath, don't even fucking serve that shit to me. I don't care how childish it makes me. Donuts get sprinkles.
If it doesn't look like it came out of a Simpsons cartoon,
Absolutely.
I don't fucking want it.
Donuts get sprinkles. Period. The end.
What about a jelly-filled Long John?
Has sprinkles on it.
All right.
Donuts.
Will you eat that, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Also, it's not that I don't like apple fritters,
Yep.
but if you chose an apple fritter, not because it was the only thing there, but because you chose it, you are probably at least 60 years old. That's what we decided at work.
That or those little egg ones that are like air.
Nobody chooses the apple fritter.
No.
You get stuck with the apple fritter. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's bad.
No.
But that's not what you choose.
No. When there's a stack of donuts and you're
Right.
like, I'll take the apple fritter.
The apple fritter is always the last one in the 12-pack
Yep.
that somebody brought to work in the morning.
Yep.
Oh, maybe somebody will want this. No, they fucking didn't.
There's a reason there's 10 of them.
You just got someone stuck with it now. Well, shit. Guess I'm eating the apple fritter. And I'm not saying it's not good.
No.
They're fine. But nobody chooses unless you're a boomer. It's as simple as that.
That's fair.
So I don't even know where I was. So
You were in Buc-ee's getting hot
so
meats.
Buc-ee's. So I walked around and I decided brisket sandwich is what I need, which I kind of knew. But what I was honestly hoping was that since I was there at 1:00 in the morning, that maybe they were making their breakfast burritos because those are eggs and brisket wrapped in a tortilla shell, and those are fucking killer.
That'd be good.
But when I got back over there, what little sandwiches were remaining were gone.
Oh.
And there were two kids just standing in there jabberjawing at each other, not cutting up more brisket for me. And so,
Kids these days.
right?
Bet
And
they're on their phones, too.
I left Buc-ee's without any smoked meats whatsoever.
What'd you eat?
I didn't.
Those two kids ruined your Buc-ee's experience.
It was smaller, so it didn't have as many things.
Yep.
Because, like, as soon as so they have signed, like, big, giant billboards for, like, 60 miles.
It's like going
in
to
both
Wall
directions.
Drug in South Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, the first Buc-ee's sign I saw, I'm hyping this shit up, right? Just fucking hyping.
You guys don't even know.
Yeah. That's there's no way I didn't say that at least 10 times. You guys don't even know. Seriously, this is the greatest place on the planet. And then we get there, and I'm like, dude, it's got 200 gas pumps. And I get there, and it's smaller than the one that we go to in Texas. So I'm already lying.
Shit.
And then we walk in there, and there's no smoked meats. And their meat counter that has all the nuts and their beef jerky meat counter, it's there, but it's like 2/3 size. And I was like, this is just making liars out of me, Robbie. I've never been so disappointed in something I've loved so much at the same time. I'm sure it'll happen as my children get older.
Yeah, I was gonna
but for right now, the highest level of disappointment I've ever had was Buc-ee's.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yeah. I couldn't.
That's what I'm afraid of, is that like everyone hypes up Buc-ee's and I've never been. So when I finally do go, it's like, oh.
When you do, make sure it's on your way to Coda, and you do it in Fort Worth.
So next December. Got it.
Because don't stop at stop at the one in Tennessee. Just don't stop there at 1:00 in the morning.
Okay.
And don't expect it to be the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. Because at best, it'll be a top 10er.
If I'm hungry at 1 a.m, it could be subpar, and I'd still.
Yeah, but they won't have anything to give you.
If I stand there and stare at them long enough.
Oh, I stared. Don't you get me wrong. I gave them the strongest passive-aggressive Midwesterner move I could possibly give them. And they weren't picking up on it. Those fucking Tennessee kids are dense, man. They weren't getting my Midwestern passive aggressive.
But you were so passive aggressive that you couldn't just be like, "Excuse me, guys, could I get a brisket sandwich?"
Could you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure not, dude.
Oh no, if I was ready to order,
No way. I'm just going to get mad
sandwich.
and leave and pout and then bitch about it on a podcast.
Oh no, I wouldn't have left. Like if I really wanted a sandwich, I would have waited until I finally got one of their attention and said, "I would like a sandwich, please."
No, like I left in a real bad mood. Like a real bad mood.
You could like,
dude. I
from me saying-
pouted for an hour, Robbie. I bought a NOS, and I was in such a bad mood I didn't open it for 2 hours.
That's the flavor of something that came back around for me.
By the time I opened it,
It
it
warm.
was not cold anymore.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
how
I would not
was.
have done that.
I pouted for an hour.
No, if I wanted
For
a
at least
sandwich,
an
I was not leaving
My
that
mom.
gas station without a sandwich.
I bought a bag of dark chocolate covered beaver nuggets for my mom.
Which, yeah, so she ate those and they were good,
Yeah, they were great.
but you didn't get any food,
Nope.
and then you had a warm nos.
Yep. 2 hours later. That's how mad I was at Buc-ee's. If that Buc-ee's was in Iowa, those kids would have got the hint. They know better.
No, what you're saying is that in Iowa, you wouldn't have had to be passive aggressive; it would have already been made.
No, I think I probably still would have had to be passive aggressive about it.
'Cause-
But if I stood there and like paced back and forth in front of the brisket sandwich thing and then kind of like looked at him and like kind of looked away and then kind of looked at him again a few times, they would have caught on.
You're like my dog.
But in Tennessee, they don't fucking catch on, Robbie.
You're like when my dog goes back and forth in the living room and like looks at me on the couch and, like,
then goes and looks
at the door and then looks at me. It's like,
Yeah. Hey,
no, the episode's. No, we just started an episode.
get
I'm not
the hint, bro.
I'm not getting off the couch. I just started an episode.
Yeah, well, that's how these kids felt about making brisket sandwiches.
You were just out there.
Road trips, man.
Oh man, kids these days.
Yeah. So we filled up the van and we cannonballed the rest of the way there.
What'd you eat for breakfast?
My sister had something ready when we got there at
Well, that's
8:30
nice.
the next morning.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that was all in all, we traveled. Round trip was 44 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 2,600. We put 10% of the miles that this van has on it
Whoa.
in one weekend. We traveled 2,677 miles. It only when we returned it had 27,411 on it.
You didn't have to pay by the mile, did you?
No, it was
Unlimited mileage.
unlimited mileage daily flat rate.
Those are good.
Yeah, so the place my dad rented it from, it's like a local dirt excavation company that my dad uses at work.
Okay.
And they have like 2 or 3 Chrysler Pacificas and a couple of Chevy Malibus that they rent, and also they do like rental house slumlord things.
Huh.
I walked in there and I was like, I guess I'm
a van here.
I guess I'm here to pick up or she's like, what can I help you with? I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm here to pick up a van. And she's like, well, don't sound so disappointed. And I was like, it's not that I'm disappointed in the van. I'm just really confused that I'm here to pick up a van. And she's like, well, we rent houses too if we can help you with that. I'm like, nah, I'm good, thanks.
Well, there's like no sign on the door. It's just like at someone's house, and
No, it's like a big Morton building with a bunch of dirt equipment and like employee cars parked around it,
Yep.
and then the Chrysler Pacificas at the end of the row.
Huh.
So
diversification, I guess.
I guess. I mean, in small town northern Missouri, they're probably the only people who rent cars.
Probably.
We probably would have had to drive an hour south to Kansas City to the airport to get a vehicle otherwise.
It cost you way more. That's what that was.
Probably. It was $150 a day. Unlimited mileage.
Pretty good.
So we added 10% to their mileage number.
Nice.
But yeah, I seriously, I can't say enough good things about the Pacifica. It was great. I don't know about their long-term reliability, but
But for the 2,700 miles you used it
dude,
for,
they crush miles. 10 out of 10. Would rent again. So, I think that's
all.
On the way home, we drove through. We drove back through Tennessee so that I could see it during the day.
It was pretty.
It's amazing. So,
Do you get to see actual fighter jets?
yes, so they have like the dead ones of the ones that they fly on pedestals out front, right? So there was like an A-10, which is what you got pulled up there, which is like the coolest plane in the world, in my mind.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I should say the coolest plane that cannot fly supersonic.
That's fair.
Because the SR-71 is still the king of airplanes.
Yeah.
Fight me, bro.
I'm not going to fight you.
That's for sure less controversial than glazed versus cake.
Yes. I feel like there's very few people that have very strong opinions about that. And as someone that's in the aerospace industry, yes.
Differently strong opinions. Right. An argument can be made for a small number of other planes, but I still think you're wrong.
Yep.
But the A-10's like one of the coolest fighter planes. I think my brother-in-law flies, I want to say they're F-16s, not 18s.
So they're super outdated.
It is an old big plane. Okay. It's a big jet plane, or fighter jet. It's like one of the bigger sized fighter jets that we as a country use.
Someone listening right now knows the answer, but like I think it's the F-15 or the F-16 that was like a gigantic fucking mess.
They all, at some point or another, are a gigantic fucking mess.
I want to say it's the 16. That's why we still do them.
I think that he flies 16s. I don't remember.
No idea.
But it's a big plane.
Yeah.
And then we could see it up close from the, sitting on its pedestal out front, like just a shell of one, like you see at every Air Force base or airport. But that we could see, like we could get up kind of close to the fence and see the, his actual plane sitting out on the runway, but without getting a bunch of special clearance and stuff like that, we really couldn't get any closer than that. So, which is fine. They live on a full-fledged base, which is like a city inside of a gated area, and like it's pretty sweet.
Huh.
There's a bunch of fucking ricers, straight piped VQs, and stanced out Volkswagen.
You did send us a picture of a you sent us a picture of a VQ.
I saw a couple of like lifted mud rigs and like
in the south.
The whole gambit of terrible car building decisions there. So
yeah, they're just like us.
Air-cooled Beetle, and yeah, it was kind of interesting just to like drive around and see these cars parked in these places.
Yeah.
They live in like a duplex style house, and then there's a bunch of like apartment buildings and the whole 9 yards. So yeah,
nice,
whatever. But
so how much? Okay, so you drove 22 hours to get there.
Did
you spend 22 hours there and then drive 22 hours back?
No, we drove down there Tuesday and got there early Wednesday morning and basically slept most of Wednesday. And then we were there Thursday, Friday, and then started our drive home Saturday.
Okay.
Got to just east of St. Louis and got a hotel room.
Ugh.
And then drove the rest of the way the next day. On Sunday.
There's a racetrack not too far from there.
East St. Louis on the Illinois side?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that track is in Illinois.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
No.
So
maybe I'll go back someday.
Maybe not, though.
I don't know. I doubt it.
So we had to be careful because we didn't want to get too close to East St. Louis.
Correct.
Because I have an allergy to gunshots.
Well, the first time I went to St. Louis or Illinois, wherever.
What do they call that? Gateway Technology Park?
Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway or whatever the hell they call it now. It's like a million letters.
Yeah.
The first time I went there, I didn't have any friends. I mean, not any different than now, but like I didn't know.
You didn't know anybody.
I didn't know anybody.
Right.
So I drove down there by myself. Sort of knew some of the people in TT, but not really. Not enough to like hang out. So a lot of them kind of like left and did their own thing, and then a bunch of people at hotels, and then like I'm sleeping on the track, and this is back when I'm like tenting it in the back of or actually I'd probably sleep in the back of the Avalanche. So I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. So like it's like 6 o'clock, everyone's gone. I'm gonna go find some food, and then I just kind of like drove around the area like just to see it. And I told Jess about it. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, that's right. She's she lived there for a while.
She lived in downtown St. Louis for like many years. And she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?
You can't just drive around out there.
You don't just go there.
That's dangerous.
Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Like, apparently, I don't know. I didn't get like mugged or nothing. I mean, I stopped a couple times just to like.
I mean, it's no Gary.
It's no Gary.
It's no Gary, Indiana, but like it ain't a good place to be.
Well, it's not a like dirty manufacturing processes. So like it's not coal mining, but kind of like the facilities all looked like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a treatment plant something like shortly up the road.
Well, when we were on the interstate, there was a lot of like abandoned houses and stuff like that right off the interstate. It just looks
sad.
Just looks sad and run down and terrible.
Yeah, when Waze brought me through Gary, Indiana, that was a very sad town.
Yeah, that looks rough too.
That was sad.
That does look rough.
Yeah. But I did appreciate not having to hit that whatever was happening on the interstate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I made it through just fine this time.
So I guess years ago when my brother-in-law was still going through flight training and they lived in, I think, like the San Antonio area or Del Rio, Texas, somewhere around in there. When one of the times that my mom and dad went down there to visit them, I guess he got my dad some time in the flight simulator. And I was like,
what the heck, man?
Where was my invite? That would be so cool.
I would have drove down for that.
That'd be so cool. My dad said he attempted to take off and crashed all 3 times.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So yeah. How sweet would that be?
That'd be cool.
And then I guess recently my sister got to get in the co-pilot seat of his jet and do a fast taxi, which means they never left the ground, but they did like 85 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Under just hit full thrust and then back off again.
just punch you in the chest.
Yeah. Just hit you once and then slow down, which would also be an amazing experience. That's so rad.
It would, but then I'd want more.
Yeah.
I would very much be the mouse that wanted a cookie. And you can't just like, all right, here's your one hit. No. I want more.
Yeah.
Give me
I'm joining the Air Force.
Give me more.
Yeah, that's Robbie's new kink is flying jet planes.
We're taking this up a notch.
Yeah, that'd be really sweet to get a chance to like fly with him or something like that.
Yeah, feeling that type of G-force.
Oh.
I would probably need Dramamine. Right? Is that what that is? The anti-nausea stuff?
Yeah.
I would need that.
I don't know that that's strong enough.
Well, ever since my concussions, I need that. I don't know if maybe I'm better now, but I used to not like roller coasters after my concussions. No go.
We went to Wilmington on Saturday, Wilmington, North Carolina, and we ate some seafood right on the beach, and then went and did like the aquarium and checked out the beach and stuff like that, and went home. And we're driving back to my mom or to my sister's house, and my dad's driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm like, I don't feel good. And like I said it to my dad, and he's like, "Do you mean like we gotta pull over? You don't feel good?" Like, not yet. And like 2 miles down the road, I'm like, Dad, we're stopping now. And like he didn't even get to a stop, and I had the door open, and I'm projectile vomiting onto the side of the road. I'm a little gun shy on seafood for a little while now.
I was gonna say, is it because you had like
I ate oysters.
Oh.
And I think that's what got me.
The last time I had oysters, I did the same thing.
I think that's what got me. So now I'm gonna be a little gun shy on seafood for a little while.
The thing was, we ate like so much food, and it was just one of those things. Like I just kept eating, and we had oysters, and like I honestly don't know the last time I ate that much food in one sitting.
Yeah,
and I felt awful because I was so full by the time I was done, and then I felt awful hours later because I was still full.
Oh, that's right. You did this in NOLA, didn't you?
I tried not to say that out loud because I didn't want to say that I got sick at like the most amazing fucking restaurant I've ever been to.
Yeah, right.
So, like I didn't talk about it at the time.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to say it again, even though you just put it out there.
Well, it happens.
But yeah, so like in the middle of the night before the race, I just got up and just like emptied my stomach. Like I wasn't like sick, but it was just like everything came out.
Yeah.
And then I was fine. And then I like raced and I was fine. But like I knew it wasn't like food poisoning or anything because I was still craving that food and I wanted to go back to that restaurant. I still want to go back.
I had a fever spike and we had to pull over like 3 or 4 more times.
Oh wow. No, I didn't. Like I was.
So I don't know what hit me.
No, I just woke up.
I felt okay the next morning. I was fine, and because that's what everyone was like. Oh shit, we're supposed to fucking drive home tomorrow morning. So like now what do we do? Like I woke up. I'm like, let's just go. And my mom, oh, are you sure? Like, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Let's just go. And I drove fucking 20 hours home.
No, mine was, I got a race in 5 hours. Yeah. I mean, but again, it was fine. Like I went to the bathroom. I was fine.
Yeah.
Slept the rest of the time until I normally would wake up and tried not to tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to know.
Shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could think of was, I had oysters, and I don't normally eat oysters.
Oh, I do. I like oysters.
I do. I just don't eat them very often.
I got fried oysters, fried catfish, and fried shrimp.
Oh, mine were not fried. Mine were
fried.
in a half shell.
I've eaten them on the half shell too.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me either. But
no.
I wanted shrimp and catfish. Like I wanted that seafood sampler, and that was how I had to get it. Was fried. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm not going to be heartbroken about that.
No, now I want seafood again.
I should have just got the shrimp.
Nah,
the oysters weren't that great. I can get catfish.
I'm not the biggest fan of oysters. I'll eat them. But
right. That's kind of where I'm at on that.
So.
And I get catfish at home, so I should have just got the shrimp. Because shrimp on the ocean hits different than it does here in Iowa.
So does sushi.
I'm sure it does.
I mean, granted, we have pretty good sushi restaurants here in Des Moines, but
yeah,
it hits different.
We were at a Hy-Vee gas station earlier this week, grabbing some quick lunch because we have too much shit to do. And the guy I was with was like reaching for the sushi thing. I was like, bro, like
Hy-Vee's not bad. I mean, for how cheap it is,
it's gas station sushi though. Like
no, Hy-Vee's not this.
Bro,
it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine.
But you're gonna eat that and then go to work?
Yeah, it's fine.
Do physical labor?
Yeah, it's fine.
Seems sketch.
No, it's fine. Now the Fast and Fresh have poke bowls now. It's a rice bowl with like raw fish in it.
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, it's not good poke company, but it's fine.
I don't trust it.
It's fine. You can't get sick from raw fish. It's a thing.
I don't think that's true, Robbie.
No one ever got sick from raw fish.
That's for sure not true.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not true.
You don't know.
One thing I thought.
Time talking about food this time.
One thing I saw that on the beach down there that was kind of interesting that we didn't get to explore, where we were, they had some like off-road it said like the trails, like it said 4-wheel drive only, and I was like, man, I wonder what's back there because like it goes off towards the ocean. Like how cool could that be? I wanted to go
just taking some quads on the beach.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, I'd for sure get in trouble.
Oh, for sure.
Like, have to call the place and be like, mine's in the ocean.
Mine's stuck. Like real deep.
I just wanted to get a little bit of water, and before I knew it, I was completely
get a little more, and a little more, a little more. And
I had that hit, and now
you can't even see it.
Yeah, now it's gone. We need to go get it.
You have to wait till the tide goes out to catch that bad boy.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So it was fun.
Yeah, the first time
I even got in the water, Robbie.
No, you.
It was so cold. I rolled my pants up. Got up to like a little over ankle deep, but
that does not count as getting in the water.
Well, it was fucking freezing, Robbie.
It's not that cold.
It was only like
how much colder could it possibly be than Sarasota right now?
It was barely 60 degrees there that day, and the water was real cold. That's far enough north that water never really gets that warm.
That's fair.
But like if it's 90, then the water's fine. But when it's 58 and a little bit overcast, that's not so great.
No.
But
that doesn't count as going in.
My kids have never seen the ocean, so my son and I went out as far as we could without getting too bad. But then he got hit by a real big wave, and we had to go buy him new pants because he wouldn't just like deal with it.
Let him dry out.
Yeah, so
happens. Now there was one time we were in Duluth, and we jumped into that water.
Does that water even ever fully thaw?
I think it maxes out at like 50.
Does it even fully like there's still ice?
There's ice in there in July.
Yeah. Woof.
It's like Okoboji doesn't completely finish icing over till like July.
Yeah.
Or on de-icing, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you going to the lakes for 4th of July? No! There's fucking ice in there.
It's still cold. I don't like that place anyway. There's too many people.
Too many people and not enough room.
Yeah.
We have spent no time talking about cars.
I don't know what else to talk about, Robbie. I talked about a van.
That's you did talk about it.
We rented a brand new van. That's a new car review.
All right.
10/10 approved.
Boom. Chrysler Pacifica, approved by Adam.
I might even be cross-shopping it right now.
Dang.
But not a new one.
Oh.
You could spend like 60 grand on a Chrysler Pacifica.
You can spend like 60 grand on anything now. It's insane.
Shit's out of control. Like a fully optioned plug-in hybrid Chrysler Pacifica is like in the 50 to 60 grand range. Yeah. That's crazy.
Can I complain right now?
Absolutely. That's what we do here.
The new electric Denali pickup
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The electric one. It's like they're not even delivering. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
100 gur.
It's 120 gur.
Yeah,
and they sold the fuck out.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
Rivians are up in there, I think.
Yep,
they're crazy. And I see one of those I see at least 2 or 3 a week.
The amount of $100,000 cars that just everyone has right
now. There's a Rivian in Nevada.
I see one all the time.
Remember when the only thing that cost $100,000 were Lambos and Ferraris?
Yeah, the cost of things is outrageous. And the crazy thing is the amount of people that take like stupid debt to get it,
then pay a $40,000 dealer markup on it.
Right. Don't get it.
Out of control.
Don't get it one bit.
I don't know where all this money comes from.
Nope. This complaining about money and cars and stuff is printed by Petrobox. MyPetrobox.com. If you want to not complain about stuff that shows up to your house, get a Petrobox. Use the code TGP15. That's 15% off that box. We heard Adam talking about that box earlier.
Robbie.
What? Go to the shop. They got some new T-shirts in the shop.
Oh, do they?
I was looking the other day.
Oh, baby.
Because you missed out on their Black Friday sale, you have to use the code TTP15. That's
I never even
15% off. They got some of the new shirts.
What in utero? Whoa. Scroll back up.
What?
Scroll. What does that say?
Where?
Petrol box in utero?
In utero. You don't have that shirt?
No.
That's a great shirt.
That's dirty.
That's actually one of my favorite shirts.
I like it. What's the milk box one?
It's the missing 10mm socket.
That's funny.
Yep. I got that one, and then I'm currently wearing the new.
I know he sent me that one too. I'm
Nintendo
super happy. I'm super excited about that. Shirt.
Drive More, Work Less by Petrobox, and then it looks like an old NES Nintendo logo.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I really like this one. But yeah, man,
there's all kinds of new shirts in here.
Yeah, the Petrobox in utero. It's got like an old race car on it.
Looks like a soapbox almost.
Yeah, like an old Formula car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of cool ones in here.
Yeah, there's some great shirts in here. They got the Death to Tires for you drifter people.
I have one of those shirts.
I do too.
So
you got their Christmas shirt, the ugly Christmas
Yeah, they have
t-shirt.
your ugly Christmas sweater one.
That's only $15 right now.
Ah, yes.
GT40 t-shirt's only $15 plus 15% off those cheap prices.
Boom.
Use the code TTP15. MyPetrobox.com. Adam, all I've been doing is wrenching.
I know. Are we even going to talk about it?
Yes.
Has this been long enough?
The podcast?
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to go.
We're only halfway done.
No, that's for sure not true.
Yeah, we're only halfway done.
No.
I have things.
Do you?
Not really.
Got to make fun of Wes.
Yeah, I spent like a whole weekend doing body work.
Gross.
I had to.
You know what my least favorite car thing is?
Body work?
Body work.
I don't mind body work.
So tedious.
So because Wes
just hit
pushed
that guy into you.
Yep, he just slammed into another car, which slammed into me.
Yeah.
Trying to take everybody out. Just dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uncontrolled. Typical BMW driver.
Right?
Didn't even use his turn signal.
He didn't.
What a jerk.
And then he blamed me for it.
Well, I mean,
okay, I don't want to get too far down this fake story. Yeah, so obviously Wes hit me.
It's probably somehow E-Man's fault too.
E-Man
definitely E-Man was involved in it.
Yep,
he probably told him to do it.
Yep, those two are conspiring against me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So obviously I had a lot of body work to fix, and so because it's on the quarter panel, on the bottom, kind of by the door, and of course it's crushed the door frame or the door sill, whatever the hell you want to call that, the crease, the crease of the box
line.
Yeah.
Where
what?
There's nothing to do with a box, Robbie.
It's got a corner like a box. So the crease. So I had to recreate the crease, and so I had to go to Harbor Freight and get one of those spot welder tools.
Oh, yeah?
I kind of always wanted one.
Yeah, I'm sure you're real mad about buying more tools.
The worst part was that so like a couple weeks ago I go to Harbor Freight and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get this little spot welder dent puller kit thing. It's like $100. I've been meaning to get one for forever.
Wait, so can you spot weld your chassis now? Can you seam weld your chassis?
No.
With it?
So they got these little, like, not spears, but like a little, like, pin.
Oh, yeah. They use the slide hammer.
Correct.
Thing. Oh, okay. Yep, I'm with you now. Yep. Those are cool, too.
Yep. We had one at the body shop back in the day, and I never really got to use it. Josh was always doing that type of work. And
He was always taking it away from you?
Yeah.
What a jerk.
He was just making me do forklifts while he was working on cars.
Ugh, gross.
So kind of was waiting for the time.
What kind of body work do you do on a forklift?
They would buy shitty forklifts. Well, not like this company in town would buy shitty forklifts.
Yeah.
Then they would bring them to us, and then like we'd be polishing these turds. So they'd be like, we just want a full, brand new, like we want
Just paint it?
repaint everything.
Just
so like
kind of fix it up
but
a
of
little
course,
bit,
like,
paint it?
because these are slapped together, like when they make these, we're talking like Bondo an inch thick to make
Nice.
the counterweight all the same level.
Right, yeah.
But like it doesn't make any sense because if they would just do like a thin layer and just like actually sand it, you wouldn't need that much.
Right.
So we would just like spend all day grinding that shit off and then putting a smooth layer on it. So like that's all I did was forklifts for like a summer. It was awful. But like Josh is getting to do like proper body work, and I'm just like grinding away at these forklifts.
What a jerk.
I know, but I mean, he wasn't gonna do the stupid forklifts. But I did.
Sucks to be the bottom guy on the totem pole, right?
Yep, and that was me for sure.
drew-
Technically an intern.
You
technically.
drew the short straw, so start sanding.
But anytime I needed that application to use that spot welder, I figured I'd get one. So I did. I bought that, but I went to Harbor Freight to go get it. And for whatever reason, that week, those were on sale.
Nice.
Not nice. They were fucking sold out, and every single one in the city. So I go to the one that's over on Merle Hay, or Merle Hay.
Army, Merle Hay and then Army Post.
Yep. So I go to Merle Hay, sold out. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Who's buying these? And of course, they only have
That's like way out of your way for anything too.
kind of, yeah.
Because it's like clearly the opposite side of town that you would go to like get to work or do anything else.
Yeah. So I get there, and like of course they have like one or two ever in stock.
Yeah.
So they're both gone. And then I go online. I was like, okay, well, Army Post has it, which is like southeast Des Moines.
Polar opposite, kitty corner across town.
Yep. So I passed the airport. So I go over there. The website says they have it in stock. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll get the one they got left. Fucking sold out. So then I had to wait an entire week. I guess I probably didn't have to wait a whole week, but I had to wait till the next week until they were back in stock. Then I had to go and get it again. I was so mad I almost bought one on Amazon just out of spite. But it wasn't like the ones they had on Amazon were like more expensive, and I felt shittier.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of that stuff that Harbor Freight sells is shockingly good.
for the price, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a market for the cheapest tool.
Yeah.
But like
sometimes I just need a $2 wrench that I can cut in half and turn into a specialty
Been
wrench. Yeah. But like also sometimes their tools are shockingly good.
yes, no, this tool worked great. Actually, I had better luck with so they have two different sizes. So like you have, I don't know, like whatever, 3 millimeter and 1 millimeter pins. That's probably not even close to true. But whatever the hell sizes they are.
Who cares?
But the smaller ones actually did a better job at hearing, whereas the big ones would like.
Probably because it didn't heat it up enough to.
No,
really...
you would heat it and then you'd start denting it and then just like pull out and you have a fucking hole there. So that was super annoying. So the littler ones actually did a better job of like adhering to the metal without popping a hole in it when you finally get done with it.
Yeah.
And actually just like cut it and grind it off. So I used that and worked the quarter panel out and was able to get it pretty smooth, and then just like obviously just a little bit of Bondo to smooth it over and recreate that seam. I'm pretty damn happy with it.
It looks good from your picture.
Yeah. So the most annoying part that I ordered paint, like matching paint. I was like if it was anything else I wouldn't care, but like I wanted the quarter panel to match because like obviously you're gonna open the door. And I want that where I blend it.
Right, your door frame.
Yeah,
your door jamb.
Yeah, where I blend it into the jamb, I wanted that to at least not be completely off.
Right, because every time you get in there, you're going to look at it.
Exactly.
And it's going to annoy you.
I will.
God damn it, Wes.
I will know. So I painted it, and I don't know if it was like slightly too cool or I didn't wait long enough to put the clear coat on. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't.
I don't know anything about painting.
But so when I put the clear coat on, it must have just been like not dry enough, and it just took all the metallic with it, and just like all the metallic sagged into the clear, and it looked fucking horrible. Like it's not like I ran the clear coat.
Yeah,
it just like as it dried, it just pulled all the metal flake with it.
Weird.
It looks so bad. So Jess came home from work, and I'm like staring at it, and she goes, "What?" And I was like, "Look at it. It's just the whole fucking thing sagging." And I spent good money on this paint. I'm so mad, and now I don't care. Like I just want it done.
Right.
So then I wet sanded it the next morning, and then went to Lowe's and got their it's like their generic metallic silver whatever. I was like, that's kind of light. Looks like it looks highly metallic. It'll work.
Yeah.
And I get back from a distance, it's like the same fucking color.
Dude, it looks so good. It matches better than your bumper does.
Yep. So yeah, sprayed it with that metallic. One can was enough to do the quarter, and then I waited extra long. Like I think I waited like over an hour to make sure it was like dry,
Real set.
and the temperature was warmer in the shop.
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna spray it until it was like properly dry. I think it was more than that because I watched 2 full episodes of Dexter before I went back out there.
Okay.
And then I sprayed it with clear coat, and so it's ready to go. So the quarter panel's done. I have gotten all of the vinyl taken off of the car.
Do you have your design? I know you won't share it.
I won't share it with you.
I'm well aware.
I've shared it with some.
I'm well aware. So you do have a full design.
I do.
I'm very interested to see the level of spiteness.
Yeah, am I going to specifically just spite you? Like, it'll be a surprise.
I don't know.
Do you think that I would really go that far just to
Yes.
annoy you?
Beyond a doubt.
Like, just
beyond
I don't
any
care about the
shadow of a
livery.
doubt.
I don't care about the livery, but I care enough to annoy you.
Yes.
That's fair.
Vinyl is temporary. Spite is forever, Robbie. And I absolutely think you would do that to me.
The greatest motivating force in the world is spite.
I have zero doubt in my mind that you would do something like that to me.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll be less surprised if you don't show up with a green tinted Gulf liveried car than I would if you. I'd be less surprised that you do that than don't.
Dusty's helping me on this, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, so I got the quarter panel fixed. I bought that 9 Lives wing, which again I laugh out loud. For those that aren't,
Dude,
for those that aren't in the consortium on Facebook, it used to be the 1010s podcast group, and then we talked about the consortiums years ago.
It's been the consortium for a long time.
So it's the 1010s consortium on podcast or on Facebook if you want to join in our
group,
which is like the best part of Facebook in all reality. But we talked on the podcast that I bought a wing off the clearance thing on my 9 Lives Racing, and then one of the listeners was listening to the podcast. He goes, "Hey, I almost won one of those," and then he posted on the group, "Wait a fucking minute, it was me that sniped it from him."
And literally that day, in our little group chat we have with a bunch of our buddies, I was bitching about how much I fucking hate bid snipers.
Which is, I go out of my way
and that
to
you
do it.
get a sick, twisted pleasure out of bid sniping people.
Yep, I will not bid on anything if it has more than a minute left of the auction.
I fucking hate you. They should just do silent auctions.
No. Yeah,
you
so
just put what your max bid you're willing to bid.
I did that, but I waited till there was a minute left.
It's such a douche move.
So like you could just see it like it crept up, and then like it would hit his max. I'd go $1 more, and then it and so like the last 30 seconds is just me like.
What I think is funny is that he posted a screenshot that literally is the bid history.
Yep.
With your initials on it.
Yeah, it's clearly Robert Veer with like R. V.
Yeah. Hilarious. I was like, there's no way. That's too funny.
I was laughing out loud at work. Like I had to explain it to people. Still.
Oh, it was so
I have
funny.
pulled it up multiple times just to read the comments, and it could have been anybody. But of course it was me.
God damn it.
So I need to get that mounted, and then I got to do the body work because the mounts that Josh had for his wing for years ago are kind of tilted at an angle for whatever reason. Like his mounts on his wing were not parallel with the side of the car.
Weird.
So it's off by like 1.5 inches. So I need to redo all of that, but of course that means I have to cut the hatch to match it, and then I need to weld the wing to match that. So a little bit of work this weekend. Obviously, Max is going to do the welding on the wing because I'm not a great TIG welder. I'll admit that.
Weird. You should. I apologize for not being able to remember his name, but whoever it was that you bid sniped, if he's ever at an event, you have to let him sign your wing.
That's fair. I'm going to powder coat it black, but
like get a silver paint pen and he can sign it.
That's fair.
Because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, and because I'm me. So I didn't buy end plates for it.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
So I bought these carbon fiber squares.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut end plates.
At some point, Dalton had an extra set of CFD end plates for a 9 Lives wing. You have them?
I had them.
You had them?
They were on the Z or the 240.
On the 240?
It's in Chicago somewhere now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the originals because he had the V1 CFDs that he didn't want, or I had whatever he didn't want. I had. So
I think he ended up with the V2s and gave you the V1s.
That sounds right. Yep. So this weekend I'll do that. What else have I been working on? Basically just body work on the Z. I got a bunch of stuff to fix on the front bumper because I dropped it off a curb at Heartland Park and ate that to shit. But with the new rules, now that splitters are only 1% if you already have a wing.
Is that what it is? If you already have a wing, splitters are only 1%?
Otherwise it's 3.
Otherwise it's 3?
So I was like 1%, I might as well add one. So I'll probably build
I mean, you're a little fat anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a little heavy. So I'm going to have to adjust power up anyways. But
yeah.
So,
see, that's perfect.
Yeah, no, the rules didn't change my plans a lot.
You're like the only person.
But I'm gonna add a splitter probably, and then everything else I already had planned is kind of going that path anyways. I already have ABS and and I was like 150 pounds heavy to begin with, so like I've shaved a little bit of weight out, and so I'm probably still gonna have to go on the dyno based on rough numbers, and I'll probably add maybe 10 horsepower back to it if everything kind of falls in line where I expect it to go. Maybe I can cut more weight out of it than I realize.
Yeah.
Because I also realized how far off my fuel gauges were by accuracy when I looked like it was almost empty on one side, because that's saddle.
Oh, that's right. You have 2 fuel gauges.
I have gauges. Yep. Because the factory gauges fail all the time.
Right.
So the one side said it was empty, and then the other side said it was like it would just like flop back and forth. I'm like, fuck. All right, well, I don't know how much fuel I have in it. So I was like, I'll just put a few gallons in. And like I put like 2 gallons in it, like spit out. I'm like, oh, so I'm running with 20 fucking gallons of fuel in this race. So that's 120 pounds
Can you get
right
rid
there.
of one of those saddles?
Yeah, probably, I guess.
I mean, unless you're going to enduro it.
Well, even then you'd have to. You can't run 20 gallons. You have to fill it with those plastic. Ugh. I don't know I didn't look at the rules, but I know you can't run 20 gallons. It has to be less.
Because like Dalton, so the Corvette has saddle tanks with a crossover tube.
Yep, same thing.
And putting one of those tanks in is like apparently a real son of a bitch.
Yep.
And so he just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah. I like how low.
He can run 20-minute sessions with E85, and the tank that's in there is on the other side of the car than he is, I think, or something like that. So like it kind of cross balances itself.
Yeah, so
it really doesn't, because there's not nearly that much fuel to cross balance him. But
definitely not. He doesn't have a 40-gallon tank.
No.
But I like that the saddle is low, and it does so. To prevent fuel starvation, it pumps from the driver's side to the passenger side. So like I have 2 fuel pumps, one that literally just pumps the fill.
Yeah, that's basically the way the Audi was too.
Yep.
Because that had a saddle pump over the drive shaft.
Yep. So that was like an aftermarket thing, because otherwise 350Z's fuel starve at like 3/4 tank.
Oh, really?
On track, on like big left turns.
Right.
So yeah.
I think there was a vacuum assisted pump in the Audi.
Oh,
so the other tank.
So that failed for sure.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like everything else kind of was already on plan for what I was going to do. So I mean, I'm adding adjustable sway bars only because they were at 50% off or 40% off. That I was like, well, yeah, I need those.
Yep. Fortune's rebuilding your stuff.
Yep. So that should be back here.
That's going to be
probably
cool.
4 to 5 weeks, I would imagine. They said 6 to 9 weeks. I'll start bothering them at the end of December if I haven't heard anything. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they're busy.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a huge rush for them.
Right.
So I think the first time if I can't get it on a test day, the first race is probably going to be Gingerman with this car if I go.
Festival?
Yeah. Assuming that they do a festival at Gingerman.
Well, yeah, right now we haven't seen a schedule, so
I just assume that we're going to do the Gingerman.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would guess that that's probably the first event I could possibly take this to. Historically, we've never done anything before that I would go to. Because I'm probably not going to go to, we've done NCM.
You're not going to go to NCM, probably.
I'm not going to go to COTA because I assume that we're still doing the same.
Yeah, assuming we do roughly the same system.
Yep.
You're not going to go to COTA, which is the first event of the year.
Yeah, definitely not doing that.
They've always ran NCM around Easter-ish.
Yep.
And then I feel like there was one on Mother's Day last year before Gingerman.
But those were always... Oh, they did the Willow Springs early in the year, too.
That's right.
Which, of course, obviously I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think what they did this year. But, Gingerman in June? What did we do this year? May? June?
I don't fucking remember.
June.
I still thought it was better in August.
I liked it in June.
Like we did.
Because I didn't go this year.
Right.
But historically, it's always the first week of June or last week of May or whatever. Yeah. So unless they completely revamp...
it's around my birthday. It's always the 1st of June, first weekend of June.
So unless they completely revamp the schedule, I would guess that this probably won't be on track unless it's a test day before May. So I got some time. I don't need to be bothering Fortune with, hey, where's my coilovers I don't need for 6 months.
Right.
But yeah.
Fuck, it is a long ways away, isn't it?
Yeah, which is kind of takes the pressure off because
I'm kind of and I realize I didn't drive, so a lot of that stress doesn't even exist for me, and somehow I still end up with it. But I'm kind of glad the season's over, and I'm also kind of bummed out about it.
No, this year especially.
It's been a real rough year for you, for sure.
I needed this year to end so badly. Well, it went so badly that I needed it to end. That's probably a better way to say that.
Right.
Which is funny because we talked about that on the podcast a handful of weeks ago, and Dusty's and that time he got set on fire.
Oh yeah,
my whole year went so bad
that wasn't even on your list of things that went bad.
Nope, I didn't even list off the fact that the car burst into flames with me in it at High Plains. So just add that to the list of all the rest of the shittiness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just body work on the Z. I'll probably install the sway bars this weekend, mount the wing, just keep chipping away at projects. I got different fuel level senders that are here. I'll fix that. Just keep working at it.
Yeah.
See if I can shape some weight out of it. The fun part was though that obviously the transmission failed in the NPO1.
The NPO1, switching gears.
Yep. So I've been working on the NPO1 as well.
New cars.
Yep. So when Josh came in, we couldn't get the car to turn over, and we didn't think anything of it. We're like, well, clearly the transmission's fucked. Probably holding up the engine. Why the engine won't start. And so we got home. I pulled the transmission out, got that ready so we could ship it off to Texas to get rebuilt. And we were kind of thinking about it. Eric came over and because he was heading up to work on the Porsche, so he just stopped by, say hey, and grab some stuff to bring to Nick. And we were kind of talking about it. I was like, yeah, and the engine was locked up, but then I realized the transmission wasn't locked up.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh. He goes, yeah, your bearings are probably fucked.
The engine wasn't, or the trans wasn't locked up.
Wasn't locked up. Yep. So the trans was not locked up.
Oh,
Because I didn't think about it because when we were kind of trying to figure out what was going on, because we didn't have a hole in anything that was gushing oil on the ground.
Right.
So we were just kind of before we knew what had happened, we were still trying to okay, well, we'll diagnose this. So we were spinning the wheels. We had it jacked up, spinning the wheels. It would go in gears and do its thing. All right. Well, it's not completely grenaded.
Right.
So, but that didn't, it didn't click to me that there was something wrong with the engine. The transmission clearly had something wrong.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Eric, and he's like, yeah, your bearing's probably jacked, so you're definitely wanting to take a look at that. I was like, yeah, you're right. So then with the transmission disconnected,
It's not even in the car right now.
Yeah, I was trying to think what the order which I did this. The transmission might still have been in when I first tried this, so I wanted to see if I could get the engine to turn over with the power of the starter, and it did after like 3 attempts, and even then it sounded like it was struggling. And this is without spark plugs in, just like no fuel, no like fuel filter, or the crank sensor's disconnected. It's not putting fuel in. There's no spark plugs in it. I just want to see if I can turn it over. And it sounded like the battery was fucking dead. Like just didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, well, I don't see anything wrong with this, but there's clearly something wrong.
Yeah.
So we just assume maybe the bearings are fried, and that like there's just too much friction there. So I pull the engine out and I start disassembling things to get it off, because we know we have to like completely replace all the oil lines, the oil filter, or the oil cooler.
Yep.
The dry sump's going to have to get cleaned out.
Right.
Probably have to rebuild or do something with the dry sump pump. Like, all that shit has to be fixed. Otherwise, we're just going to end up grenading the next engine with all the shit from the previous engine.
Right.
So got all that shit ready, and then I started taking stuff off, and then I realized that behind the plate that holds the dry sump is a nice big hole in the window in the block.
So what?
So I don't know what failed, but the connecting rod is completely destroyed.
Oh shit! That's a oh my god!
So the connecting rod is completely destroyed, and it is shot through the block. How it didn't take out the dry sump pump is beyond me, because it just like it must have just hit the block and just like pushed out those pieces of metal.
Yeah,
but nothing else went out. Like there wasn't leaking oil there. Like Jesus. I had no idea. So like I pulled the engine out, and I'm like, that's pieces of casing, but I don't see where they're from. Like it's on the bottom tray of the car.
Yeah,
there's pieces of casing. Like it's not. But at the time, I'm like, this is not from the block though, and it doesn't really make sense because the transmission it went to the reservoir. It didn't go out of the case. But yeah, then when I pulled the timing cover off and realized that like cylinder one's connecting rod is in like 300 pieces.
That's crazy. At first, I didn't even realize that was the crank end of the top of the connecting or the bottom of the connecting rod.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And who knows but yeah, the connecting rod's clearly broken off in the center.
Is that a rod bolt in the bottom?
The rod bolt. Oh my God. So like the bolts are out of the connecting rod. The connecting rod is broken in pieces. The other half of that connecting rod is broken into pieces.
Right.
So then I flip the engine over and I'm pulling like all the shit out.
Yeah.
I get the oil pan off, and like I don't know how to describe it, but so that's a cylinder one, which is fucked.
Yeah.
Cylinder two, the bearings are just like mushroomed out.
What?
Like it looks like I'm trying to think how you like. Let's say I just like
kept squeezing it.
Let's just say I took a bunch of like pieces of paper and like held them in my hand, and like had like pieces of paper sticking out from between my fingers.
Yeah,
that's what the bearings look like.
That's so weird.
It's just like sticking out the side of the
like they were too thick and you just squashed them when you tightened it down.
Yeah, it'd be like if I was squeezing Play-Doh and just kind of squeezing it through my fingers. That's what the bearings look like coming out of where the connecting rod connects to the crankshaft.
Weird.
Ruined.
Yeah.
Everything about that engine.
The motor's junk.
Ruined.
Yeah, the block is junk. There's no rotating assembly that's worth saving. That motor's that's
gone. So
scrap pile.
So we have 3 engines sitting in my garage.
No, you have 5.
I have 5 engines
sitting in your garage.
2 paperweights. 3 good engines.
3 brand new junkyard motors.
Yes. Low miles. Low. I think one has 15,000.
So is this like one of those deals where you're like, I'm just going to buy an engine? And Josh is like, yeah, I'm just going to buy an engine. And Booney's like, I should just buy an engine. And then all of a sudden you guys had 3 engines?
No, Booney went and picked up 3 separate engines.
Oh, Jesus
I think the highest mileaged one has like 57,000 miles. I think the lowest one has 17,000, maybe.
That's hilarious.
So we're gonna have.
It'd be way funnier if each of the three of you were like,
Well,
I'm just gonna buy. You're on the internet like, oh, this is cheap. I'm just gonna buy it before it gets sold out from underneath us.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, you all three own an engine.
Nope.
Because that would totally be something the three of you would do independently. You'd just be like, I'm on LQK or whatever, some website. Like, man, that one's cheap and it's real low miles. I'm just going to buy it. I'm not even going to ask the team. I'm just going to buy it.
Nope. No, we just
don't want to miss it.
Just went down Sands Riverside, picked up the two they had on pallets, and the third one they had to pull out of the engine or out of the car. But that was the one that was the lowest miles. And we're like, yeah, we definitely want that one.
We want that one still,
We'll wait an extra day for that one.
Yeah, you get me that one too. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so we're going to obviously get one ready and put it in the car for when the transmission comes back, which I don't know when that's going to be.
Is it really like they don't have an accurate time frame?
It took way longer to get down there than it should have. So I don't know if they've even cracked the case open yet.
Giving you an idea of what
I need to follow up with
fixed.
Booney and kind of see if they've got us a timeline yet. Because, yeah, who knows? It could be a couple weeks. It could be a couple months. Who knows?
Could be 2024.
I know if you need a case from Sadev, France, mid-July, best case scenario.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we're hoping that's not a path we have to go down.
I don't. It's amazing to me how far out everything is right now.
Everything.
Everything.
I'm not just like, I can't believe it. Like, if you need something from anybody anywhere, fucking takes forever.
At work, we tried to buy a new bucket truck. And so we called the Alltech dealer that we bought the ones we have from right now.
Yep.
And my boss is like, yeah, we really like the ones we have. I just want to buy another one. And the guy's like, well, if you put your order in today, we can probably deliver it to you sometime between 2025 and 2026.
Holy shit.
And so I was like, so you put our order in then, right? He's like, no, we can't wait that long. I'm like, but by then I'm going to need another one.
Yeah.
The ones we have are going to be wore out by then. You just will get your fucking name on the list.
You got to put it on the list.
Especially if it's zero down, put your name on that list.
Yeah,
put it down for 2.
Yeah, don't even think about it.
Screw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have
like,
a couple of years to figure it out.
Parts are just so hard to find for everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're really hoping that like everything inside that transmission is good, and that we can just salvage it.
Right.
Because if we have to wait on parts, we're fucked. we have a line on a case. If we have to replace it, so I think that's an option. But yeah, if it's everything else inside that needs anything in there that needs to be replaced, we can't just get. It's gonna be a problem. So I'm a little nervous, honestly. But yeah, our plan is to have at least 2 of these engines, probably all 3 in all reality, because we got the front timing covers have to be machined to match how we attach them in the NPO1.
Yep.
So I'll just bring those timing covers off and be like, I have this one. I need 3 these, at least these 2 to match this one.
Right.
We'll probably end up having 3, just so we have. Moving forward, Moving forward, we won't have to keep doing this. We'll have timing covers.
Right.
So yeah, we're going to build up the engines so that they're ready to go. One will be in the car, and then probably have at least 1 spare, probably 2 in all reality. And just have them be completely ready to go. All we have to do is pull one out, put one in, and it'll be seamless.
So like
full, completely assembled, completely accessorized.
So let's be hypothetical for a minute, just because I'm curious.
Okay,
we're at the racetrack.
Yep.
The worst case scenario has happened.
Yep.
We've popped a motor.
Yep.
It's never going to happen again, so we're not going to have to worry about it.
Yep.
But we're speaking hypothetically here. How quickly can you get those motors in and out now?
If hypothetically,
is that a trackside thing you'd be willing to do at this point? If we broke one on a Saturday, we'd still be racing on Sunday?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
The plan is to have 2 completely accessorized engines, dry sump, alternator, everything ready to go, so that if one pops, you pull that fucker out, you put the other one in, all you have to do is connect it.
How fast can you do that?
I would bet we could do it as a team in a couple hours.
Like if we popped one in the first hour of the race, are we taking the checker in an 8?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, in 8 hours for sure.
That's crazy.
We're testing at the end of that race for sure.
Jeez. Okay.
No.
I mean, I know that the car
we have no intention.
the car comes apart, and it's just so and accessibility is remarkably easier on that car than it would be if it was in a Miata.
Oh yeah, no,
But
you would it would be you would disconnect the exhaust, you would disconnect the oil lines, the coolant lines. We're probably going to actually end up having dry brakes on our brake
I was
lines.
going to say somebody was advertising. I saw somebody advertising dry brake AN oil lines.
That's not a bad idea. Those are easy enough just to. But they I know. Pretty sure Stratus Racing has dry brakes on their brake lines because you have to disconnect that to pull the transmission out.
Right.
So we'll probably end up doing that. So that'll be a dry brake, so we don't have to bleed. So we don't have to bleed the brakes.
Yeah.
But then it's just a matter of 8 bolts, and you just pull the fucker out. Now, and you gotta disconnect the throttle cable
And all the wiring harness.
Yeah,
Because I assume you're not going to have a full secondary wiring harness.
no, because that ties in to the carb.
I didn't know if there was a bulkhead.
No, okay. But that's 5 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, realistically, one engine completely assembled, ready to go. Toss it right in
2 hours? 3 hours?
for sure.
2 to 3.
Even if we're not thrashing, we should be able to do it in 3.
That's crazy.
I firmly believe in with us.
You've got the practice. There's.
I was gonna say with us. Let's just say it's me and you, Booney, Josh, and Max. We would have no problem getting that done
In 2 to 3 hours?
for sure.
That's crazy.
If everything's ready, and we're not having something weird come up.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll obviously want to have spare, oil cooler and shit, so we're not completely grenading the next engine in the next hour.
Right.
But yeah, we're planning ahead for these types of things now. After this year,
frustrating.
But yeah, so that was
Racing is
way worse than we realized.
Wait, racing is stupid.
It's a dumb hobby. Thank you a lot, Jabba.
The first hit wasn't even free, Robbie.
No, it's expensive.
They talk about how the first hit's free. Not in racing.
No,
it's just expensive all the way through.
It's super not fun all the time.
You're welcome.
Yeah. If I'd never done this podcast, I probably wouldn't even be racing at all.
If you would have just pretended not to know me in that entryway to your apartment building, and we'd have just walked right by each other,
who would no podcast? Probably wouldn't have been skating like
you'd be halfway to be retired by now.
Yep.
Just living life, playing golf, probably.
I for sure wouldn't be living here. I bet.
No,
that path would have changed.
No, for sure.
Huh.
You'd be lead project engineer for Boeing or something crazy.
I would have chased after those types of jobs. Yeah. Yeah. I would have chased after the. There was a bunch of test engineering jobs that were in Arizona and in Death Valley and shit,
like Skunk Works stuff.
Yep, I wanted those jobs.
That'd be a cool job. That'd be a really
I was
cool
lined
job.
up. I was lined up for the one at Bobcat.
Yeah,
but it's not a big staff that's down there, so they don't really come available very often.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for it.
That'd be a fun test engineer job.
Then I applied for the. I didn't interview. I applied for the Continental job.
But didn't you talk to McLaren at one point?
No, I just applied.
Oh, okay.
I talked to SpaceX twice.
Ooh.
I had 2 interviews with SpaceX.
Damn.
No,
I probably wouldn't live here either.
No. But yeah, I mean, the SpaceX one really was, I don't know. I didn't get a good vibe from the person interviewing me.
Weird.
Yeah. I wasn't mad that it didn't go anywhere, honestly.
Huh.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'll just keep chipping away at all this. I'll be either assembling MZR engines or working on the Z.
Or putting suspension on a Z.
Yeah. Or body work on a Z. Yeah, I haven't even ordered the vinyl yet.
You got to fix E-Man and Dalton's fuck-ups.
Yep. So, the front bumper has a lot that needs to be fixed. I already fixed the A-pillar. I painted that.
Oh, okay.
Or I did the body work and painted that. So, yeah. I'll mount the wing this weekend. Probably the sway bars, cross member brace, and then probably just get started on the front bumper.
Huh.
Yeah. Got a bunch of stuff I got to get powder coated yet.
You should just buy a powder coating kit, man. Eastwood. It's
No,
great.
I know a guy. Actually, I know multiple guys that have Eastwoods, and then I also Tony Morrow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've got to hook up a Tony Morrow now, don't you?
Yep.
Powder coating's fun though.
I do like powder coating.
It is neat
because I've just painted the vents and stuff, and they got beat to shit, obviously, because the paint it doesn't handle being hit by rocks very well. Oh, and I got to replace my windshield because I hit with a rock.
God damn it!
It's nice right in the
That come right off of Wes's back tires, didn't it?
Probably. I bet it happened at PPIR as soon as he hit me and then pulled the head and then threw a rock.
Did you ever get your transmission taken apart?
No, I got to rebuild those yet.
Oh, because I really want to know what was wrong with that.
If things go really smoothly this weekend and I get all my shit done on Saturday, like I plan to, I will actually do that on Sunday. I'll at least disassemble it.
I really want to know what happened.
I should be able to take the case apart on Sunday then. I will do that for you.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of listeners who are waiting with bated anticipation.
Have you seen the Instagram video that, so on Instagram, I did a reel that showed where I was trying to put it in gear and it wouldn't go. It's got 3,600 likes.
Nice.
That's fucking crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So if you want to get reach on Instagram,
use Reels.
Reels.
Yeah, I know.
Don't post pictures anymore. Yeah. Reels. So if you follow my personal page, all my updates from now on are videos.
Jesus.
Why doesn't he post pictures anymore? Because it doesn't get any reach. I'm sorry. I
should probably if we were really motivated, we would split up short sections of the show and make Reels.
We should.
It's too much work.
No. We should just move this whole thing to Patreon and make them pay for it.
Someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, you fucking should." Yeah, I know,
but we do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, soul podcaster.
Yeah, we do it for you people. All right, let's wrap this show up. Remind everybody that Christmas is coming up, and for your car enthusiast friends and family that are wanting to be faster on track, we have the Apex Pro, the Gen 2. If you use the code 10tenths, you get 10% off with that when you purchase that and a window mount. I still have to say that this is the best value in data. I'd say that the app is the most user friendly as well. Not to mention the fact that it's free. So if you don't have the unit, you can still use the app for free and treat it like a lap timer. So I would highly suggest everyone to download the Apex Pro app. The Android has the most powerful app, and they are currently developing an Android app, which is also great news for everybody.
Andrew's gonna be at PRI.
You should definitely find him. I don't know what booth
HMS Motorsports booth.
Yes, they were behind the Exidy booth a couple years ago.
I don't know where they're going to be, but that's
usually it was like dead center.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be in the same spot or not, but that's where he's going to be.
Yeah, we would highly recommend heading over to the HMS Motorsports booth at PRI.
Meet the nicest guy in motorsports.
Talk to Andrew about the Apex Pro. Let him show you what it's working with, and I would highly recommend it. Even if you don't use my code, I highly recommend getting an Apex Pro.
Boom.
ApexTrackCoach.com. And we will catch everybody, I don't know, eventually.